I started on YouTube back in 2017 on a separate channel, a channel that I eventually quit. But since that time, I've learned a lot about content creation. I really learn a lot about it every single day. One thing I see consistently, especially for the last 4 or 5 years, has been content creators complaining about the need to keep up with trends or the need to produce content daily, or just the need to make money off of content. Um, I think this is the wrong way of going about content creation because, in my opinion, content creation is a work of the spirit, and that's going to be the title of this video. Um, I really feel like people spend way more time focusing on what they think others want to see, and they spend less time creating what they want to see. And I think um, in order for us to create what we want to see, in order for us to create intuitively, we need a set of rules. And I came up with 3 requirements that creating what you want to see is requires. So the first one is this requires you spending less time checking the analytics and more time sitting with yourself to see who you are and what you like. So for me, this is the biggest thing. When I see content creators going doing trends or following doing things that really aren't themselves, it's easy for me to point out, oh yeah, they aren't in tune with themselves, or yeah, they aren't being authentic. I think authenticity is the biggest. You get rewarded from being the most for being authentic. You don't get rewarded for copying people. You don't get. I mean, you get rewarded, but it's not something that lasts. We want content that lasts, and so the more you focus on yourself, the more you figure out what you like to do, the more you figure out who you are. I promise you, you spend less time worrying about whether they like your videos, how many likes you got, how many comments you got, how many subscribers you got. You won't worry about that stuff. You'll worry about did I put the message out that I got? Did I put the download out that spirit put in me? That's the thing. Those are the things you'll be worried about. And I think we have to focus on ourselves. We have to kind of be we have to put ourselves at the front of our mind. We have to put ourselves at the forefront of our lives. Because being a content creator is a work of art. It's not like ran by. It's not like a logistic thing. It's not a logical thing. This is something that we do based on our intuition. We do what we feel is right. That's I feel like that's the best way to create content. When you start worrying about the numbers, you start worrying about, oh, I got to make this certain amount of money this month. When you start doing that, I really feel like you take the science, you take the art out of it, and you turn it into a science, which I really think content creation is really meant to be an art. I think when you turn into a science, you start being more corporate minded. You start thinking like the executives of YouTube instead of the creators on YouTube. I think knowing yourself prevents you from chasing views. It prevents you from chasing likes, because when you know yourself, you'll go to sleep at night knowing that I did what I was supposed to do. I did what I was put here to do. And I think with content creation, we have to put ourselves at the forefront. We cannot base this off of what our family likes or what our friends likes or what our supposed subscribers like. We can't focus on that. We have to focus on us. And it sounds selfish, but it's really, I think it's self-preserving. The second thing I wrote is this requires you spending less time trying to get people to watch your videos and more time allowing the algorithm to find your soul tribe. Tech is spiritual. This is a great point in my opinion. I'm glad I got this download. Your first like 6 months on YouTube, the algorithm is trying to figure out who you are, what kind of content you create, and who they think would like your content. Um, so I really feel like us sending our YouTube channels to our family and us sending it to our friends. I've seen a video that says that actually messes up the algorithm, and it takes more time for the algorithm to kind of like bounce back from that. So yeah, I would say when you first start out your channel, I would say be comfortable starting out with zero. Seeing zero subscribers should be a good thing. It shouldn't be looked at as a bad thing. It should be looked at as a challenge. Starting from zero, you allow the algorithm to really bring you authentic supporters and bring you authentic viewers. When we try to force people to watch our videos, we try to force them with the thumbnail or force them with the title. I think you kind of you kind of take the authenticity out of it. You kind of show people that you really don't care about your art, and that's not the message that I'm trying to put out. I'm trying to put out that I care about the art of content creation. I care about the spirit that I care about the unseen things, the things that make you do what you do, the things that make the things, our likes, our dislikes. I'm more concerned with that. I'm not concerned with trends. I'm not concerned with getting a lot amount of subscribers. I'm concerned with getting a message across. And so that message is really to tap into source code, to really trust what God put in you, trust what the universe put in you, and trust in that what the universe put in you, to the point where you don't have to question, you don't have to double check the analytics, you have to question what you posted. You know for a fact that it's helping someone, and most of all, it's helping you. So I think that is definitely something that we should focus on as being content creators. The last thing I wrote was kind of like the first one, but it says this requires you doing more activities that you enjoy. The more you do what you enjoy, the easier it is to create intuitively. Um, if you're a content creator and you're following trends, that tells me off the rip that you do not know yourself. Either that, or you're just not being your true self. And that's a scary thing. People who aren't themselves or aren't comfortable being themselves, that can lead to a lot of stress, a lot of drama, just a lot of gossip. It leads to a lot of negative things. But the more you know yourself, I promise you, the more you know what you like to do, I promise you, you will start doing that stuff on YouTube instead of stuff that you think might sell, or stuff that you think might go viral. Um, for me, I like to write, I like to read, and I like to watch movies because I learn through symbols. And so for that reason, I'll be on this channel talking about what my writings, the stuff I read, the movies I watch. I'll be talking about that stuff. But for you, you might like to work out. You might like to paint. You might like to play games. You might like to do a lot of that stuff. So I think you should just go follow your heart and figure out who you are. And once you figure that out, then you can start content creating. I really don't think you should start creating content until you really know yourself or are stable in yourself. Not financially, I'm talking about mentally and emotionally. Once you're stable in who you are, then I think that's a perfect time to strike and start posting. But until then, you'll just be like, you'll be your mood will be dependent on how many views you got. Your mood will be dependent on who commented. Your mood will be dependent on how many subscribers you gained from the last video. And I think that's just that's a sure way to have an unstable mood. I think we have to really be strong in the spirit within us. I think we have to be strong in source code. We have to be strong in knowing who we are. That's really my whole point of this video. You got to know who you are as a content creator, because if not, you turn it from an art to a science. I really believe that content creation should be an art. I don't think it should be based off of logic. I don't think it should be based off of numbers. I don't think should be based off of trends. I think it should be based off who you are, what you like, what you want people to see, and what you want to bring into the world, how you want to contribute to the world. If not, then it's like, what are we doing it for? Are we doing it for others? Are we doing it just for money? Because if that's the point, you might as well just get a regular job. I think if you don't know yourself and you're on YouTube, I feel like and this might suck, but I feel like some people should just get a job at first, get a regular job, and then spend that time trying new things, learning new hobbies, developing new skills, stuff like that. Once you do that, then you'll be like, oh, then you'll actually have stuff to talk about that you like, not stuff that they like, stuff that you enjoy. Um, my channel is really to get people to focus on themselves, but in that focusing on themselves, they're helping others. I think that a lot of humans learn by seeing others. I kind of learn by doing, but I have family members and friends that learn by just, they can learn from other people. um, so yeah, I wrote that creating intuitively lessens the pressure to succeed. Posting what you want to see is doing more for you in the long run. And I think that's true. I think the more you do trends, the more you do stuff that they want to see, it's good for the moment. It's good for like short term money and short term success. But in the long run, people will get tired that people will go from trend to trend, because there are people that just, they follow trends. They don't follow people for the art of it. They don't follow people for the info. They just follow trends. And you got to accept that there are some people who just are like that. That's why you might see people on YouTube who have 1 million subscribers, but now they're getting 1,000 views per video. That's because that trend died. That's because they weren't either that, or they just weren't posting consistently. Because to have 1 million subscribers and only 1,000 people are seeing your videos, I mean, somewhere you went wrong, and I think you just have to admit that. Or you just might be satisfied with 1,000 views. That's fine. But my whole point is the more you create intuitively, you will not be checking the YouTube Studio app. You'll be checking you'll be checking you might check your comments, because I like to check comments because you get to see like-minded people. You get to see how people who think like you, how they like the video, that's probably the main thing I would check. But yeah, stop checking analytics at least at first, because you need to learn how to listen to spirit. You need to learn how to follow the inclinations that you're getting on a daily basis. You need to learn how to follow that, and stop ignoring it. When you use too much I mean, there is a such thing as too much logic. When you use too much of it, um you're 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 darkening that the light within you, I feel like. And you're and at that point, if you're darkening the light within you, it will take you to literally be around somebody whose light is shining for you to realize, oh, I'm living in darkness. And that's not something that is healthy when it comes to content creation, because the content we create is energy that is going into other people. The video I'm about to post, somebody's gonna see that, and they're gonna think about it, and it's gonna sit in their spirit, and they're gonna feel that. And so just be mindful that the content you create is influencing somebody, whether negatively or positively. We have to be mindful of the impact we have on the world and the source code around us. Um, I would say I wrote down, look at your content from a bird's eye view and ask yourself if this is the content you want to be known for. Me personally, when I looked at my first two videos, I was so proud of myself, because I knew that, like, this is something I needed years ago. I needed to be around community. I needed a small community that I could learn from, that I could uh, gain wisdom from. I needed something like that, and so that's what I'm trying to create with this. I'm trying to create a small community where we help each other out, we learn from each other, we study different spiritualities, we study different spiritual texts, and we use that in our daily lives, because the whole point of spirituality is to use it in your daily lives, to be practical, to really become a better person. That's the whole point of spirituality. It's not about the semantics. It's not about dogma. It's about becoming a better person, and living a life that you were created here to live. I think that content creation has a bright future. I think that YouTube has a bright future. I think all these other apps have bright futures, but it's gonna it's gonna depend on us really saying fuck the trends, and really just tapping into our who we are as people. I'm starting to see that long form content is getting big again, and this is how I know I chose a perfect time to get on YouTube, because I like to talk. My first couple videos won't be a lot of talking. It won't be longer videos, because I'm really just trying to figure stuff out. But I really like to talk, and I can talk for a long time. And so I think that with longer form videos coming back in style, that just gives me an opportunity to really educate people, and for people to educate me. Because with these long form videos, I've been watching a lot of long form videos that I've been learning from, and I've been loving it. I've been loving every single second of it. And so I think that long form content coming back in style gives people like me, who think intuitively, who go off of who go off of what makes them feel good. I think that will allow us to succeed more. We'll be able to support our families, and pay our bills off of this, because people don't want the microwavable content anymore. People want stuff that's in the oven. People want stuff that's on the stove. You know what I'm saying? We don't want the the stereotypical stuff. We don't want surface level stuff. We want to go below. We want to see under the iceberg. And so I think we have a great opportunity to really change the narrative of what content creation is, because when you hear content creation, you usually think of like um attention seekers. In my opinion, you think of attention seekers, and I'm really trying to change that. I'm really trying to get people to realize, like, this isn't art. This is and it's still a new art. This isn't something that is like has been around for thousands of years. No, this is a new art. Um, Social media is still fairly new. YouTube is still fairly new to me, even though it's been like 20 years, but it's still fairly new. And we don't know what the future holds, but we can shape the future by us dropping content that we like to see, by us tapping into ourselves, by us doing things that we like to do, by us appreciating every single like, comment, and subscription, replying to every comment. I'm gonna try to do that to my best ability, because I know that you didn't have to take the time out to watch this video, but you did, and I appreciate that. And it's helping me, not money wise, but it's helping my spirit, because I'm knowing that somebody is gaining something off of this. And I think that's what your content should do. Your content should make you to be able to sleep better at night. You should sleep well knowing that, damn, I made some life changing stuff today. You feel me? That's the type of content you should make. And yeah, with that being said, I want all my content creators to just tap into who they are. Stop focusing on trends. Stop focusing on YouTube Studio. Focus on how can I be a better person? How can I show up better for my subscribers? How can I show up better for my friends and my family? How can I show up better for my soul tribe? Find your soul tribe. And then once you find your soul tribe, create content for your soul tribe. No, no, don't create content for your soul tribe. I'm sorry. Create content that your soul tribe would like, because your soul tribe is an extension of you. So once you create for you, you're creating for your soul tribe. That's what I meant to say. So find your soul tribe, stick with them, and don't be focused on don't click on the trending YouTube tab. Don't click on uh the latest 20v1. Don't click on stuff like that. Click on stuff that is similar to what you like to see. And then once you see that, once you're starting to know yourself, oh, I like this, I like this, I like that, then you can start creating content. But before that, please pause. Please pause and decide and figure out who you are as a person. With that being said, yeah, I just want all my content creators to really just tap into themselves and be mindful of your content. Don't just drop content just to do it. Don't just drop content because it's oh because you can, drop meaningful content. Peace, y'all. Love y'all, man. Y'all stay safe.